Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Taught with Games. Today we're going to be looking at populations and demographics. Ooh, I like this one better. Now, first off, we're going to look at some of these statistics. First one is demographer. I am possibly one of the few Fortnite in-game demographers. Demographer studies people statistics, birth rates, death rates, what people look like this fellow here. Demographer studies demographics. Demographics are statistics about people. Age, race, gender, income, gaming habits even. So let's follow this nice person. Okay. So demographics are statistics about people, specifically about populations. Now, population is the number of people in a given area. If you look up to the top right of my screen, you can see 1919. That is the population of this area. Population of my side is 19. Population of the enemy side is also 19. Now, we're going to talk about population density and population distribution. These are two related terms, but they're not quite the same. We're going to use our mini map for this. Population distribution is how people are spread out. Now, if you notice, we can only see our people. The distribution is lots of people towards Tilted Towers, a few towards Polar Peak, Happy Hamlet, and a few within this circle here. Distribution is how people are spread out. Now, how do I get rid of this? In real life, population distribution, people... Drink? Nope. On Earth, our population is distributed towards places with nice climates, places with mild temperatures, often coasts. Most countries, the coasts are much more heavily populated than the interiors. Okay, I love this thing. It makes me feel like Spider-Man. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever I say. Population. So, back to our mini-map. Population density is measured in people per square mile. Now, we don't have square mile, but if we measured population density in people per square, we could see right here, Tilted Towers has a high population density of 1, 2, 3, 4 people per square. This area here has got 1, 2 people per square. And Frosty Flights has 1 person per square. So population density is measured in people per square mile on our planet. Big cities, New York and Chicago, places like that, have a very high population density per square mile. Rural places do not. Now, some of the other terms we're going to take a look at have to do with money. There's GDP. GDP is a measure of gross domestic product. That's the value of all the goods and services produced in a country in a year. So in Fortnite, I guess that'd be all the loot I find. All the loot per team. This includes things like, in a real country, it include all of the natural resources produced, all of the manufacturing. Ooh, burst assault rifle. Yes, please. So it also includes paying the wages of all the services, all the doctors, lawyers, teachers, contractors, plumbers, programmers, and people that work. So GDP often is used, we use something called per capita GDP. That's GDP per person. It gives us a little better idea of how much there is per person in this country. For example, China has a very large GDP, but not as much per person because there are so many people. Birth rate is the births per 1,000 women per year. Death rate is the deaths per 1,000 people per year. Now, death rate is very applicable to Fortnite. In your average game, the death rate is almost 100%, but it's the deaths per 1,000 people per year. Now, the point of all my little burst assault rifle and these guys' planes and stuff in Fortnite is to make the death rate go up for our enemy and hopefully down for us. Now, population growth happens when the birth rate is higher than the death rate. So in Fortnite, if somehow you had a game where more people were joining than more people were dying, your population growth would be positive. If more die than are born, your population growth is negative and your population goes down. Okay, demographics could be mode of transportation. They get by plane. I ride a four-wheeler because four-wheelers are awesome. Find a plane. And this guy walks. Is that a horse? Oh, hang on. Daggum. So death rate in this game can be pretty high.